Hi everyone, Mac here, welcome to another Clash of Clans video. Today we're going to be looking at super troops and the most powerful troop in the game just now. So let's get on with the video. So my original plan for this video was to do a video about all these super troops with the idea in mind that I'm pretty sure that Supercell are the next troop they're going to bring out is going to be either a super minion or a super baby drag. If you look at that outline that Supercell gave us recently, that's kind of what it looks like, which is first thing. And super troops is kind of the thing that they're pushing just now. This is their new theme. So I'd be surprised if it wasn't a super variant of one of our current troops already. So I started thinking about these troops and how we're going to use them. And then I realised that actually a lot of these troops we don't use. So giants are just not super enough, to be honest. Really good concept, a giant that's a bit tankier and can do extra damage to a wall. But if you look at this, what you end up having with the super giants, although they look amazing, what you end up having is actually you need a lot of them to have any sort of tank in. And so they either need a buff to their health or a buff to the damage that they do on the wall. Because what I end up doing with these, and I've only used them once right at the start, to be fair, but what I end up doing with these is that you end up having to have them with a wall wrecker, and they move so slow that the troops get ahead of them. The problems that all giant tanky troops have. So they need a bit of tweaking, I think, to actually make them more powerful. Maybe a bit of speed. Bit more speed, a super giant that's got a bit of a boost to it, so it rushes out first. That could be something, or bigger damage to walls, or that sort of stuff, or more HP. They need something to keep them going. So not really much to say about giants, and kind of the same with these guys with super barbs. Super barbs almost ripped straight from the builder base. Great if you want to do some farming and you want to do some super barch, basically, because they're strong and tanky and they'll take out buildings while they've got their rage thing on. They'll take out buildings really quickly. And that's I've seen them used a couple of times in war, but really all they're getting used for is farming a little bit and creating a bit of clearing out the trash around the side so that everything could pile in the middle. But you wouldn't really ever. They're too susceptible to spring traps. The rage doesn't last long enough, and probably there's better troops out there that do that already. There's things that are tankier, Valks, anything. There's other stuff that works better than a barbarian. So yeah, they're not really getting used very much either. So then I thought, right, okay, let's talk about the two that I use all the time. So you can see this from the way it's set up at the moment. I've got 4 days left on my Sneaky Gobs, and I've got 4 days left on the cooldown for my Super Wall Breakers, because I just rotate between Super Wall Breakers and Sneaky Gobs. And I love Super Wall Breakers. These guys are brilliant. They're absolutely amazing. But their mechanic is essentially that they are a reliable wall break. So there's not really much to say about them. I mean, I have managed to screw up before. I've had a wall breaker fail with a super wall break, but I think that's more to do with my incredible skills to be able to ruin an attack so much that even a super wall breaker would fail. But that was basically, I tried it from, I had it like, it'd be like putting one up here, and it just never made it anywhere near the wall before it blew up. But if you put them fairly close to a wall, even against infernos, all that sort of stuff, then they're going to blow up. So really good troop, but in terms of versatility and all that, they just break walls, and I think that's okay. They don't need to do anything else. That's what they're meant to do. Super wall breakers break walls. That's acceptable. That makes total sense. So what we're going to talk about and spend a bit of time on is these guys, the Sneaky Gobs. Now, I hate goblins. I don't see the point in having a troop that can only be used for farming. And yes, it's really quick and powerful and really easy to use normal goblins for farming and goblin knife and all that sort of stuff. But I just don't see the point. Why would you farm with a troop that you're just never going to use any other time? It just doesn't seem to make any sense to me. So I've never really used them. I only ever upgraded them because they're always the last thing to get upgraded in my lab. So the fact that they've got their sneaky gobs now is a really interesting concept. The thing that makes these guys so powerful is that invisibility. So we've seen them being used with I showed a video recently of clan castles on the outside. Got a clan castle sitting on the outside, then you just throw a few gobs at it. None of the defences trigger, surrounded by heroes probably as well. None of the heroes notice. The goblins go in, they clear out that really high HP building because it's a resource building, completely clear it out. None of the CC troops ever come out, and happy days. You've got a big part of the attack dealt with already, which is brilliant. So another variation we've seen is using the sneaky gobs in a blimp to target the town hall. So the blimp will fly in, go straight to the town hall, and when it releases the goblins have got that 5 seconds of invisibility, which means that none of the defences, not even the town hall, realises it's been attacked, and the town hall's dead before any of those defences triggers. So really good sort of like suicide, throw the gob straight in, kind of Yeti blimp, but kind of enhanced. Sometimes you don't even need a rage with them. So really powerful way of doing it. But people started to defend against that. You've got sweeper set up and all that sort of stuff. Which brings me on to the attacks I'm going to show you today. So this is the attack that I wanted to show you. We've got, I've got a couple of these, but basically what we're looking at here is a 2-star by a Town Hall 12. I reckon a Town Hall 11 could do this as well on a Town Hall 13. This Town Hall 13 is pretty max, pretty strong. You can see starting off with the usual, just picking up the free percentage around the outside. You see this Town Hall down here, it's set up to defend against that blimp going in. It's probably got air traps, expos on air, you've got scatter shots, and also you've got the blimp in there as well. So any, the sweeper's in there as well. So any blimp going in there, it's going to get pushed back, it's really going to struggle. So yeah, we'll have a look at that in a minute. Now, I didn't know what Leather was doing here, and so apart from going for a 2-star, so when he drops all his E-drags and a stone slammer up at this top side, I was kind of panicking. I was like, what is this guy doing? That's absolute madness. He's completely ignored the Town Hall. You're going to push in with E-drags, which is never really a good sort of hitting up technique, but you're definitely going to want to go in from the Town Hall side. But I was wrong. So, see, the problem, Town Hall's quite far in, and we've got some sort of high HP buildings around outside here. We've got all the storages. So there's some gobs going in to clear out those storages. You see now that once that one's down, there's actually very few resource buildings. So actually the closest resource building now are these two, is the Town Hall and the CC. So he puts down a test goblin first, that test goblin gets in, and then with a rage and a haste, I don't know if the haste was necessary, but didn't do any harm, he gets that Town Hall down in like seconds, just hardly any time at all. So absolutely clears out and absolutely batters that, and that's quite a hard Town Hall to get to. It's no Town Hall sitting on the outside, or it's like there's defences and walls going in there. So yeah, quite an interesting technique. Got one more attack to show you. Okay, this one by Leather. You see very similar format, slightly different composition in terms of number of goblins and all that sort of stuff, but same start. He's clearing out the stuff around the outside first, getting that trash, and then there's your goblins going in, getting rid of all the resource buildings around the outside, all the mines, all that sort of stuff, mines and drills, and then he's got his jump down, and then he's going to test using the goblin. There's a spring trap. Uses the next goblin, finds another spring trap. He's got these skeleton traps that he's triggering, but he's sending them, they're all just going up and chasing after archers and all that sort of stuff. So, there you go. Seconds. I think that was 3 sneaky goblins under a rage with a haste and a rage and a jump. So quite a lot of spell use, but when you're on a 2-star hit, then actually don't need to worry about that use of spells too much. And then he's just got to spam E-drags up the top, and clear out a big chunk of the base, and that'll get him his 2-star. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that made sense. That's why I think, that's my argument for why I think Sneaky Goblins are the most powerful troop in the game just now. They're so versatile, you can use in so many different ways, and they're enabling lower town halls to get some decent hits in. And actually, with a bit of development, we might be able to get town halls that are further in the base, and potentially be looking at sort of much stronger hits, like attempts of 3 stars and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I hope you found that useful, and I hope that that's something that we can use in future attacks. So yeah, happy days. See you next time. Cheers.